All right. Welcome into episode 6 of Breaking the Game. Um, really glad to have you on the podcast, Jacob. So thanks for coming on. And yeah, please introduce yourself for those that don't know Jacob Summers.
Well, that's me, Jacob Summers, Summer Spikes on all the socials. I'm 19. I've been playing RoundNet for 6 years now, and I love it. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man. At one point, the youngest ever Premier player. Pretty crazy that you are 19. Like, I didn't even think about that going into this episode. Just how much better you were at 19 than I was at 19 is just pretty crazy to think about. But um, yeah, I feel like we are kind of on top of the YouTube game right now in terms of content. Like, you're putting out condensed games, I'm putting out highlight videos. We kind of have all that stuff going on, and it's fun to do an episode with another YouTube genius, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. I always figured if we had like a team name, it would be like Content Kings. I know we went with Glizzy Boost when we played that one tournament, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I it is funny talking about that. So a lot of you probably don't know, but we played a PRA tournament a few years back as Glizzy Boost. So I think that was when Glizzy Gladiators came out, and then I was Profit Boost with Justin, and we played a PRA tournament. Need to run back a tournament at some point together. That would be a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I have a lot to talk with you about today. Kind of just wanted to start it off with looking at your seasons with Polk. I mean, you played together for I think like 2 or 3 years now. Um, what kind of happened in the off season? I mean, you guys won the Premier Division at the end of 2024, and what kind of went into the decision of not playing in 2025 together?
So I'll give you a little correction there. Me and Polk have been playing together for 5 years now.
Oh wow, okay,
He has been my only like partner like since we started. So it has been absolutely crazy journey. And for those of you who don't know, Polk is actually going to be my brother-in-law this coming September. He's marrying my sister.
yeah,
Um, so it has been like a very, very special relationship that we've just, gotten to build as like friends and as, competitive partners. But we've played for 5 years, and last season, like you said, we finally won Premier STS finals, which was a little bittersweet because the goal was to make pro, but we didn't really attend that many events, and just the nature of like the points accumulation, we didn't really have a great shot unless we performed like extremely well at the events we did make it out to.
right.
And so it was kind of bittersweet. Like we made the very best that we could have with, how we did. And it was kind of like just a sweet way to end the Glizzy Gladiator saga. I figured, go out on top. Um, I mean, like 80% of my mindset was like, no hate to Polk, but I just want to play with someone different, like explore
Sure.
what other partners are like. And so that's why I'm really excited to be playing with Zach.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's sweet. I think like you said, it's bittersweet you didn't make pro, but you did, as well as you could have. And I feel like winning premier is like way more impressive than getting first rounded in pro like I did. So I I definitely understand like your take on wanting to play with different partners. Like that's sort of what I've done in the last couple of years. Like would have loved to play with Pack again, but wanted the new experience and learn from new people. And um, I mean, I guess like talk to me about seasonal then. So you and Zach deciding to play together, what kind of went into that? And I guess what are your goals for the season too?
Sure. So Zach is my boy from Raleigh. He lives not in Raleigh, just I think 45 minutes outside of Raleigh, but he's in the whole North Carolina crew we play with frequently. And he kind of just spawned in one day. Like I feel like we were just playing a tournament, and then all of a sudden there's this Zach Snover guy playing with his brother. And
Nice. Okay.
and then they got Premier like the very next tournament, and he got good quickly. Um, and so, I mean, he's kept up like that pace of rapid improvement to the point where, I mean, I'm confident he's as good as me. And maybe some people will debate that, but like, that's my take on him. I'm super excited to play with him. I think he has a lot of strengths that are different than Polk's.
Mhm.
And so I think working out a way to complement each other best and finding that chemistry is going to be something that we're going to have to like really work on, but it's something that I'm excited about. And so Seazonal, the team name, is kind of a play on our last names, Summers and Snover. We've got like a fire ice dynamic going on like the jerseys and the
Yeah, I
logo and
love it.
stuff. So yeah, man, I'm super excited to be playing with him. As far as results this season, we're hoping to make pro. We're hoping to
You guys will make pro.
play the best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess pro is kind of like a little bit watered down now with no STS, but even so, like our goal going into every tournament is to play our hearts out, play the best we can, and if people beat us, then congratulations, like they played better. So we think we have the capability to win against whoever we play against, and I guess that'll be put to the test this coming weekend. So
Yeah, something that's definitely interesting about your guys' team is like there's the pop factor of Zach hasn't played a lot of, high level competition, or at least as much as you have. And so a lot of these players that you're going to be playing against this weekend and other tournaments throughout the year, like haven't had a lot of experience playing against Zach. So that's like a big advantage. I feel like more of an advantage for you guys than it is for other teams in that, he's definitely a very strong athlete like yourself, and also just his serving looks pretty ridiculous from what I've seen on tape. So it'll be fun to hopefully play against you guys, and yeah,
yeah, man.
excited to see how you guys do together this year. Like I think you guys will be a really strong team and can beat pretty much anyone. So it'll be cool to see.
Thank you, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. So next thing I want to transition over to is package B. So um, you've played a lot with package A. We're playing package A this weekend in Chattanooga. So maybe a little premature on the conversation, but we just had the rule package B announced. So that would be fun to kind of chat through all the different rules that they've added and changed from package A. Package B will run from May and June. So all the sectionals and regionals, I imagine, will be using package B for the most part, and that'll be the Los Angeles regional in May, and then the New York City regional. Some other sectionals mixed in there as well. We'll probably use the package, but I guess we can just talk through like each rule one at a time and share our thoughts. And I imagine all of these tournaments will still include the pro ball. Like I haven't heard of anything with a bigger ball yet. I know the MRS tournaments have been using like the bigger ball, so maybe there's like a few tournaments happening here and there that have bigger ball, but for the most part, like these will be with the pro ball. The first rule we have is the bigger boundary. So changing from 24 and a half feet to now 30 feet. I mean, what are your thoughts on boundary in general, and what are your thoughts on this rule?
I think boundary is great. I've loved playing with it. I think it encourages a lot of athleticism. 24-foot boundary, I actually have not played pro ball with 24-foot boundary. We've done some tournaments and pickup with big ball 24-foot boundary, but pro ball 24-foot boundary this coming weekend in Chattanooga will be my first time. So I can't speak too much on that, but 30-foot boundary we did play in college sectionals, and it
Mm,
was awesome. I think 30 feet is really like the sweet spot because we played with 35 in the PRA spring kickoff, and
mhm.
it honestly kind of felt like it wasn't there. People could still boom, they could still do what
Yeah.
they wanted to. And so 30 feet, I think, is really like the sweet spot where you have to be strategic with your shots. It opens up a lot more defense and athleticism. So, in my opinion, it's a great rule.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with your thoughts on it. Like I thought 24 and a half. I actually didn't mind 24 and a half as much as some other people did. Like I thought it was nice just starting with a very small boundary, and like how they've kind of done it and that they're moving it back now. So 30 foot like will be interesting to try out. I mean, what are your thoughts with like the bigger ball and 24 and a half feet? Like, do you think it was a good sport like that, or do you feel like even with the bigger ball, you'd want a 30-foot boundary?
I think it wasn't bad at all. I always tell people like that little micro tournament that we played with bigger ball 24-foot boundary, it was so much fun. Like you can go check out YouTube. There's an 11-minute highlight video, which for a local tournament is crazy
Yeah.
because we were just like rally, 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 rally. Um, I and I mean obviously this is like kind of an assumption, but I think 30 foot would be even more fun than that, just because the bigger ball is so slow. Like the dynamic of defense kind of changes, or at least for me it did, because instead of just throwing your body in front of the net, hoping the ball goes up, you actually can hover around like the 7 foot line. And
Yeah.
that's where you find some of those like athletic reactive touches where, you're diving, you're sliding to get, those quick, fun touches. And I think with 30 foot, you can still have that. I don't think that you'll be able to boom a big, slow ball 30 feet and someone
Yeah.
not be able to catch up to it.
Something I like about Boundary, and I guess this is maybe looking into the future, is it's nice from just a viewership perspective that like it looks more like a court. Like it feels more like a sport when you're playing with a boundary. And I
Mm.
like that a lot about it. But I guess we can move to the next rule. So we have the bigger no hit zone, which it's been sort of like a hot conversation amongst people. Lots of people hate it. Lots of people seem open to it. What this will be is it'll be a big no hit zone, and it'll be 3.28 feet for women and 3.61 feet for men. What are your thoughts on that rule?
I think my first kind of pushback for it is the fact that there's differences for men and women. Um, just from a perspective of simplicity, when you walk onto like a field, you see a bunch of, now we have like, what is it, like 3 or 4 circles around a net. Some of them are different sizes than others. It's like easy to get lost in that, I feel like,
Yeah.
especially for a newer person walking up on this, right? We want it to be as, plug and play as possible. You walk up to a court, you're good to start playing, right? So that's like my first kind of pushback for it. The other thing that I can think of that I don't love that it takes away is like the athletic dives that you see. In my opinion, those are some of the most fun hits, some of the most entertaining things to watch. When someone does a good like dive over the no hit zone
Hmm.
into a crazy hit. And I mean, I don't know if everyone's going to be able to do that anymore. And maybe that's just like a skill issue. Maybe you just need to work on that jump height. But with 3 feet, maybe I'm just having a hard time imagining. I feel like that's going to be a wide change, jumping from one side to the other. And so I think we'll see a massive decrease in that.
Yeah, I agree. I guess the one thing to counter that is that maybe you'll see people dive even more because they feel like they need to hit like the shot that they want. Like I know someone was saying this to me, but they feel like it'll cause more injuries because people will be diving around the net more and trying to go for like more aggressive shots and get in the way of people. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like I think it'll just be an adjustment. Why I do like the rule is, or at least why I like that we're testing it, is that when we came out with the no hit zone back in, I think it was 2021, they just kind of decided on the distance as is. I don't know how much testing they did with it, but it is nice to see more testing around this facet of the game because I think hitting is still very easy in the sense that the best players are getting a high put away percentage a lot of the time. So like I don't know if boundary would be more of a factor or if no hit zone would be more of a factor or if like the combination of the two plus like a bigger ball is what we need. But it is fun to kind of test out. And I don't know how I've never played with a bigger no hit zone and a pro ball. Like I've only ever played with a bigger no hit zone and a bigger ball, and that was fun. But I do get your point that like it takes away a lot of the shots that you're looking for, which I guess maybe is the point. I guess we'll see what happens with it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Um, but moving on, the next rule, which is definitely a little weird, we've only had one tournament, I think, run this rule. It's the no drop zone, and it's with basically the no hit zone, so the bigger no hit zone. Um, and it's with serves and hits. So no longer can drop it within this 3 foot 3.61 foot circumference. So it's a little bit strange. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this rule?
I'm interested to see how it plays out. I honestly don't know how much it's going to come into play even. Um, like if we're trying to create these rules to increase rallies at the highest level of play with the top players who have that high put away percentage, right? I feel like most of their shots are strategic flicks or low stingers. I don't see top players doing like a true drop that would land inside of that no drop zone. Um, and so maybe it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it doesn't happen often, so might as well throw it in the rule package. Kind of like it hits on one off of a serve. It's like it's not going to happen that often, but might as well if it increases rallies. Um, that's my thoughts. I just don't know how much it'll actually come into play.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely one that like I don't really know how much it'll impact the current sport. It'll be nice because I'll be able to stand further back on servers, which should make serve receive slightly easier. But not a lot of people go for drops anyway, so it's kind of like a who knows how much this will impact it. It is interesting, like with co-ed, like kind of talking about bigger no hit zone and now this bigger no drop zone, like how in co-ed games, which I know there's not too many tournaments planned with co-ed, but if a tournament did have co-ed in May and June, I guess women would be hitting from shorter distance than men, and then they'd also be able to drop it from a shorter distance than men. So like, there's a lot of interesting overlaps here with co-ed specifically and like different lines for women and men, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. It's just going to be weird to see how it happens and what people feel about it. Like I'm
To add one final thought, I will say one thing that I think it would add, unfortunately, would just be another level of call balling. I mean,
yeah.
those no drop zone calls are always going to be, close, whether the ball is touching one painted line of grass. And so that'll come into
Yeah,
factor
we
into
need
play.
something like tennis where you can prove that a ball hit the line or whatnot. The next rule we got is the equal serve distribution, which is a crazy rule change. I really don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think it's fun to test out. It could be a good thing for the sport. I mean, it's kind of changing how scoring is done entirely. But I want to hear your thoughts. So, have you had a chance to kind of think about this rule and how it impact you?
Oh yeah, of course. I think that, and this is maybe a little bit off topic, but kind of relating. I think that changing the scoring of the game could actually have a really big impact on the game. But I don't know if this is exactly the right configuration of how to do that. But I like that we're testing it. And so with this specific variation of scoring the game, I don't know that we're actually changing the content of the game at all, right? Like when you have the ball in your hand, your goal is to score points, and the easiest way to do that is still going to be to get an ace. That doesn't matter if you get, unlimited serves until you lose the point, or if you just get those two, right? And I'm thinking about this now, it might incentivize more to capitalize on those two break opportunities, right? Like you only have the ball for 2 points, like you better ace on those, you better capitalize. And so you might see people swinging harder. Maybe it incentivizes more put-ons, but I think it'll be one of those things that we'll have to play out.
Okay, we had some technical difficulties there, but we're
Yeah.
back. So yeah, as you were saying, I agree that like changing the scoring complexity of a game is maybe something that's good for the sport. Like I know Alex Hart was talking about trying to make double faults 2 points for the other team or something like that. Like I don't know if that's the extreme that I would take, but I do like that we're just changing the order in which people can serve and. I will say it'll be a bit tricky to figure out scoring and keeping track of all that. Like, it's just a different way to do it. I tried it once in pickup, but we actually in pickup did it incorrectly. Like, I didn't read the exact detail with the rule. And so we started, instead of one person serves, one serve, kind of like pickleball, and then you switch to the other team. We did two serves to start and then two serves for the other team. And we were doing that, but then the math ended up really weird where sometimes the score with the person on the left was an odd number, and sometimes the person on like the right was an odd number. Like it was very inconsistent. So I hope that maybe it was just because we did the scoring system completely wrong. But I did like testing it out. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out and how it impacts different results this year. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Sweet. So I guess moving on, we have a couple other rules that are going to be the same from package A. So server's teammate can move, receiver's teammate can move forward and backwards. The first possession must use 3 touches, and then the simultaneous touch on defense. Um, I guess I'll just say like I really like that they're keeping the first possession must be 3 touches rule. That was fun playing with. Like what about you? Like do you have any thoughts on those?
100% agree. I really want to see that in the final rules because I think I don't know. There's nothing more annoying and demoralizing than just like on two. It's like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
cool point. So yeah, I love
Um,
that rule.
Yeah, I made this point in the past, but I think like it's nice for newer players that like I should probably, set and be more in system here than hitting on to like it's
Yeah,
pretty frustrating to watch like the newbies in your local park like just tap in and hit it on two all the time. So hopefully this rule will help with that. Even though I guess those people aren't even connected to the competitive scene, but yeah, for the growth of the sport and rallies, I definitely like the rule. But yeah, let's talk through Chattanooga. We hinted at a bit at the beginning of the episode, but um, pretty big tournament, or yes, big, as big as it's been this year so far. I think we have 18 premier teams. Um, Took a little bit of a glimpse at the player pool. I don't know how much you've looked at it, but um, you and Zach are playing and coming off your win at the Atlanta season opener, so you're riding that momentum in. What are your thoughts on this tournament? Have you looked at the rest of the teams, and what are you thinking about?
I have looked at the rest of the teams. I am hype. This will be, I think, like the most competitive tournament that I've ever played at with the intent of like competing to the finals,
Yeah,
right? Like I've played against top competition, but obviously had no chance, and that's a whole different story. But this is one of those tournaments where I feel like if we play our best, we could beat everyone there. If we play our worst, we could get first rounded. So there's a lot of really good competition, and I'm really, really excited to see how me and Zach are going to do. I mean, I think it's just super stacked, like you said. It might not be the biggest tournament teams wise, but in terms of talent, I think it's as great as we're going to get over here on the East Coast.
yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know how the power pool will work out exactly, but I was looking at the USAR rankings, and Zach is pretty low, like respectively. So I think they're thinking about like changing the formula with the rankings. I don't know how that'll actually help Zach, but um, looking at the teams, there's lots of teams that could do well. Um, Jarvis, of course, coming off their second place of the championship. Um, they're, the most experienced team playing together going into this tournament, at least at like the top level competition. I don't know how much Zach and yourself play like in pickup and what, maybe even more than Connor and Josh, but um, yeah, definitely Jarvis will be a tough out. And then we have Dan and Pack. Dan won the previous Package A tournament in Orlando with Will. That'll be an interesting team, of course. And then, you got yourself with Zach, um, Tyler, and me playing our opening tournament as Drawing Dead. Um, you got Snarl, Ben, and Dawson, who got third at the USAR tournament. They play a lot together. They'll be a tough out. And then you got a lot of other teams sort of in that second tier that could beat anyone, but haven't seen them do it yet. So you got like Clip Farm, Polk and Andrew. I know they got quartered at Orlando, but they played Gabe and Ryan really well. Like should have taken them to three, honestly. So they're going to be tough to beat. You got Cliff and Nick coming all the way from the Midwest, so wasn't expecting that, but obviously, they think they're going to do well, so that's an exciting team. And then you got Cheesin, Mike and Matt. They play all the time in New Jersey, and play against Gabe all the time too. So they're going to be battle tested. And then Party Foul, Cole and Kyle as well. There's probably some other teams I could mention, but I guess that's 9 teams. So one of those teams we just said is going to lose in the round of 16. Um, but yeah, that's definitely a pool of exciting matchups. So how do you think it's going to go down? I guess we could do the prediction of like excluding yourself. If you weren't going to podium, who would you put top three? And then I'll do that as well, excluding myself and Tyler.
Sure. I would probably put Jarvis at 1. I would probably put Pack and Dan at 2, and then Drawing Dead at 3. That would be
Okay.
my prediction.
Um, I would do something similar. I think I would put Jarvis with the caveat of I don't know how much Josh has been playing or Connor in the aspect of like
Yeah.
the top level competition. Like that's a big question mark for me. I was recently in California and played both of them individually, which they're looking good, but obviously like a lot changes in the off season. So I mean they're my favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost. Dan and Pack would probably be my second pick, but again, it's really close because I actually think Connor is one of the best boundary players that I've played against. Just in pickup and playing against him, like he has great placement on his hits and also just really good at getting touches as well. So I think Jarvis is probably the most complete team, but I haven't seen Pack play in a while either. I'm sure he's gotten a lot better. I'd put you guys third. Um, but I could see you beating either of those teams if like Zach gets hot or you get hot. Um, it's kind of a toss up. Like this tournament feels pretty much like anyone could win, at least in those top 4 teams. And then Snarl's going to be a tough out too. Like I was really impressed with Ben when I played him in Orlando. Like he's super athletic, really good boundary hitter. Um, Dawson, obviously super experienced. It's tough, but I think I'd put that as the top three right now, looking at it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Um, yeah, man, it's always fun doing these tournament previews because I feel like I'm never right. Well, I guess going to the rest of the season, what other tournaments are you playing with other people or Zach besides Chattanooga?
For all of the USAR stuff, I'm playing with Zach. Just 'cause we need to keep accumulating those points. Like you said, we got no points. I mean, my brother just got premier at STS Championship, so
Yeah, yeah.
um, need to rack up those points. So we'll be playing the Atlanta. What do they call it? Regionals.
I think it's the Atlanta sectional.
Sectional is the smaller one. We're playing the Raleigh sectional, Harrisonburg sectional, and I think that might be it. I think we're trying our very best to make our way out to Salt Lake Regional because I think that would be
Oh
super
wow,
fun.
that'd be nice.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it would be a really. I mean, it's beautiful out there. Like just enjoying the travel would be awesome. But yeah,
nice man. I'll see you out there in Atlanta. I don't know if I'm gonna be at the Salt Lake City tournament. I'm not going to Harrisburg. Um, yeah, I might try to make it to Salt Lake. I don't know. I gotta see if that fits into like my summer plans and stuff. But
yeah,
well, sweet. No, this has been a ton of fun. Thanks for your time talking and whatnot, and excited to see you this weekend. It should be a blast.
absolutely. It's been fun, and I'm excited.